Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names. David Scott Kelly.
41-5, Lewis across midcourt for Del Orso. Vesar setting a screen. Del Orso throws it back to Henry to the bucket and hammers it down with the right hand for Henry Vesar.
Henry Vesar just caught a body there and a poster at the same time with a big-time one-handed flush on Andre.
You weren't here last night, Dragon Ball, but I don't know if you remember the TV broadcast when the Wildcats knocked off TCU in the NCAA tournament back during Tommy Lloyd's first year. And the color analyst, I don't remember who it was, might have been Jimmy Jackson, said, "Catch you a body, Ben," or "Get you a body, Ben." Well, last night it was, "Get you a body, Hen." Henry Vesar. You remember that?
I do
Dragon
remember. I do remember that particular dunk. It was pretty substantial. Let me see if I can go ahead and at least get this
Dragon Ball's
fixing up a little bit.
not working.
But not. But by chance, did you mean this dunk?
Looking back inside, fire it to Koloko. Shovel it off. Matherin from it home with the right hand.
Put it on top of Eddie Lampkin's head.
That one.
That was the one.
See, we got to go back. We'll have to go during one of the breaks. We'll have to go see if we can get the TV version of that where the dude said, "Get you a body, Ben." But now it's Henry Vesar. That's twice in 2 games. He's like driving down the lane and dunking on people. I mean, I love this kid right now, Henry Vesar. And I tell you what, again, he's the first time that he really stood out to me was that defensive set. I talked about the defensive set in the Central Michigan. I think it was Central, might have been Sanford, the Sanford game, where he guarded out front. Then he hedged on the double and guarded the double out front. Then the ball went to the corner and he went to the corner and doubled in the corner. Then his man kind of slid down into the lane. He came back into the middle to get on his man. Then the ball went to his left and a guy was driving for a dunk and he pivoted there and got a block shot. And I was like, man, Henry Vesar at the defensive end. And then it's just been a snowball. It's been a snowball since that moment with this kid and everything that he's been able to do at both the offense, defensive end of the floor, dunking on people, getting the ball, driving to the lane, feeding alley-oops for dunks to guys like Carter Bryant, just demonstrative on the offensive glass, tipping 2 offensive rebounds to himself to get a dunk. I mean, right now, we're not even halfway through the season, so I'm not gonna talk about MVPs of this team yet for the first half.
Yeah,
but definitely he's the MVP of the week. Maybe the MVP of the 2 weeks is Henry Vesar right now with what he's been able to do for this team. Your thoughts on last night's game, Dragon Ball, and the 75-56 win to sweep the I don't know if can we call it to sweep the Appalachian Trail. I don't know if Cincinnati.
I don't know if Cincinnati counts in that.
Wants to be grouped into Appalachia, but I'm from Northeast Ohio, so we will certainly put them in Appalachia if we want to.
But I think the biggest takeaway from that performance, first and foremost, that was a great reaction to the run West Virginia went on at the very end there. I mean, they had like 3 threes in a row, a couple of them from guys that you wouldn't expect to hit threes. But the Cats took a timeout, they breathed, and they managed to go ahead and stop the bleeding. We had seen that come up a little bit against Cincinnati earlier in the week, and then they went ahead and had the same thing happen to them where the game got close. This one, not as much of a trouble. And again, against 2 ranked teams, that's a big deal. Being able to handle a team's best shot coming into that particular moment and being able to go ahead and quell it. You got the crowd on their side. You had everybody going loud and raucous in, Morgantown. and they managed to go ahead and quell them pretty quickly after that timeout there in the second half. So give a lot of credit to the guys for being able to go ahead and take their best shot, weather it, and get back into the fight and keep putting out their best punches.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We want to hear your thoughts on Arizona basketball. Are they back? Are the Wildcats back? What a difference a week makes, because I think right before Christmas or right around Christmas, I think Joe Lenardi, who is the bracketologist extraordinaire, he didn't even have them in the NCAA tournament. I think they were in the first 4 out, or maybe even the next 4 out, which you don't want to be in the next 4 out, because that means you're not even close, really, to getting into the NCAA tournament. I think they were in the next 4 out a couple of weeks ago in Joe Lenardi, and I think he put another one out either today or yesterday. It might have been today. And the Wildcats are in now. They're in the NCAA tournament. What a difference a week makes. 7 days of glorious basketball. Yeah. I mean, that's what, 5 games, 5 wins in a row. Now you go on the road and beat a couple of ranked teams, and suddenly you're back in the NCAA tournament, at least in the eyes of bracketology. Now, of course, bracketology means nothing, because this is a long Big 12 season, and you're just 3 games into it, but you're in a very good spot. Look, you want to put yourself in a favorable position. There's a lot of tough games at the end. We went over that the other day. We'll review our poll that we had on Monday's show, which is how many games you think Arizona's going to win on the road in the Big 12 this season. There's 10 games. They've already completed 2 of them, and they're 2-0, so there's 8 games left. How many games that you think they're going to win? We had a poll on that. We'll give you the results on that. But it's very top heavy and bottom hard. And so you got to really stack these games up, I think, up front. And the Wildcats against a couple of the ranked teams who I don't know if they'll be ranked next week, but definitely ranked coming into these particular games. And Arizona taking care of business today, or last night, I should say, in the cold of West Virginia. All right, 520-848-1290. We got a full show for you today. It is basketball night in Arizona for the ladies of the floor. Arizona women's team will be taking on Baylor. Now, this is not your little sister's Baylor. No, it is not. This is not Kim Mulkey Baylor. This is not Brittany Griner Baylor. Not maybe the level of that. They were ranked last week, but I think they lost. I don't know who they lost to, but they lost, and now they're not ranked coming into tonight's game. But again, it's still Baylor. And this is one of the teams that I felt like when the Wildcats were leaving, and we looked at all of the potential rivalries. It's one of the things we talked about when the Pac-12 broke up. What are the new rivalries going to be for all of these teams? And Baylor was one of those games that we looked at as maybe being a potential new rival for Arizona women's basketball. So that first meeting is tonight, 6 o'clock at McHale Center. We'll be down there after the game. Our social media extraordinaire queen, Priscilla Mugwa, will be down there as well, documenting that game. We'll hear from Adia and crew afterward. They did not perform very well the last time they were at home. They got flat out, got blown out by Utah, which was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, Utah's good, but their coach left to go to the WNBA right before the season started. So you expect maybe there might be some growing pains there with that staff, but they just came in here and blew the doors off the Wildcats right on New Year's Eve. Not a pretty performance, but you go out on the road and you do the same thing to Central Florida, which is what should have happened and what did happen for the Arizona Wildcats. We'll talk to Derek Palmer. He's going to join us coming up here in about 5 minutes or so. We'll talk to the voice of Arizona women's basketball for as long as I've been in town. I've been here now. This is year 17. We'll find out exactly. I think this is the first time Derek's been on. I think he actually was on once before, early in the season or preseason. So we'll get an exact number on how many years he's been in that seat. But we'll get Derek's thoughts. There were some changes down at Central Florida. I know they had the radio show over at the Sands Club last night for Adia Barnes, and I think she alluded to some of the reasons for the changes. I didn't get a chance to hear all of that because obviously we were involved with men's basketball here on 1290, but we'll get the lowdown from Derek on what she said and why she made some of those changes to her starting lineup. DK on the sports tip. J-Dub has the day off. It is Dragon Ball, me and Cricket hanging it down for you. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
The very best in play-by-play is on Tucson's best sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the home of the Wildcats and NFL play-by-play. This is the one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
Here's a riddle for you. What do yoga mats, a toothbrush, and a Hyundai have in common? I'll give you a moment. Time's up. If you guessed they're all fun, well-designed, and super useful, you guessed wrong. The answer is you can order all these things on Amazon. And the best part, you won't even have to break down a car-sized Amazon box after because you'll pick up your Hyundai at the dealer. Hyundai, now available on Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Limited availability. Pick up through a participating Hyundai dealers in select markets.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
When you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The current federal government is actually going $1 trillion deeper in debt every 100 days. That's why thousands are turning to Goldco, a top-rated gold company, to diversify their savings with time-tested safe haven assets, physical gold and silver. Right now, not only is Goldco offering a free gold and silver kit, but on qualified purchases, they'll give you up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver. Call 855-838-GOLD. That's 855-838-GOLD. Performance may vary. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
The new year is here. Time for change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI with My Computer Career in just months. Already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported 22nd Street near Keno on 22nd Street east of Keno Parkway. Speedway east of Country Club that was reported as a rollover wreck. Craycroft north of 22nd Street and also a hit and run at Palo Verde and 36th Street. Chance of showers this afternoon, wind advisory until 10 tonight, lows near 35. 56 mostly sunny tomorrow, windy and 48 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. It is basketball night in Arizona. The Wildcat women on the floor against the Baylor Bears. First time that these two teams will get together as members of the same conference, that conference being the Big 12. And we're pleased to be joined by the voice of Arizona basketball right now. It sounds like he is cruising down I-10 to get to McHale Center. Derek Palmer joining us. Derek, we were saying in the first segment, this is not your little sister's Baylor Bears. This is not the Kim Mulkey Baylor Bears. This is not the Brittany Griner Baylor Bears, but it's still Baylor, a marquee program in women's college basketball, and one that when this whole breakup of the Pac-12 started, I thought could be a team that might develop into a rival for the University of Arizona. Do you share that sentiment?
It's funny you mentioned that because the last time these teams played was in Dallas a couple of years ago, and it game that Arizona won handily, and in the closing seconds, it looked like a player who was no longer with the team was going to dribble out the clock, and then over the last 2 or 3 seconds, she went ahead and tried to get a bucket, just to pad the stats, you know. And I was watching every one of Baylor's coaches observe all of this with just a look of utter shock. I don't know if that is any bulletin board material or if they've gone ahead and forgotten that because she's no longer here or what, but it seems like it has potential for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, Baylor has won some national championships. They've been one of the top programs in women's college basketball in this century, and so a great opportunity to start to stack some wins against a marquee program. What is this in your your prep for tonight's game? What is this Baylor program about? I mean, I know they brought in the coach from the WNBA that drafted Ari McDonald out of the University of Arizona, so that was a big get for them when Kim Mulkey decided to leave and go to LSU. But what kind of team do we have now with these Baylor Bears?
It seems like it's kind of a 50-50 push on how the matchup's going to break. They do things that the Wildcats have struggled with, for example, force turnovers and score somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 points a game off of those. They offensively rebound, which has been kind of an ongoing problem over the years with the Cats. So they are not especially able to get to the defensive glass. It just in that win against UCF allowed 18 offensive rebounds, just fortunate that they didn't lead to a lot of points. That's definitely not something that they're going to be able to get away with today, because otherwise this team seems as if it scores an awful lot of points. It hasn't played a very tough schedule, and arguably its 3 toughest games it's lost, but they put up points, and the Wildcats have, again, been a little bit slow on the defensive end at times this year. But on the other hand, it also seems as if they're capable of allowing a lot of points, and when the Cats are running their offense, they do score in bunches.
We're chatting with Derek Palmer. He is the play-by-play man for the Arizona women's basketball team. And Derek, you guys obviously went on the road to Central Florida, a little bit longer of a conference road trip, the first of probably many long conference road trips. What was that like for the team? What was that trip like to make in this conference for the first time?
It's. I think one of the benefits of having a really young team is that they really don't know the differences. From my perspective, it was really weird, and I even joked last night on Adia's show that the whole trip felt like it should have been in November, just because it was so out of the ordinary and something that you'd usually do, in the non-conference.
Right.
But it was different. The whole thing was different. Going to the arena was different. The protocols were different. It was just what you'd expect, I guess. There was nothing that was seemingly similar about it. So the players, though, seemed like they adjusted just fine. They got there pretty late on Friday night and had a late practice. It just took time to adjust to the different time change, the big time change, and then went out there and dominated. So it didn't seem as if that element of it played much of a factor, but it was sure weird from my seat.
So there were some changes made to the starting lineup that kind of sparked maybe that after the game against Utah, which wasn't very pretty. What did Adia kind of say last night? I know you asked her about that. What was the essence of some of the changes that she made to the lineup to maybe try to get a spark?
I think the biggest one was just rewarding some of the freshmen. For a variety of factors. It was easy to look at Swan's performance in the second half against Utah, but Adia emphasized that was not the sole reason that she was put in there, that she's been gradually working toward that distinction through a variety of factors in practice. I mean, the biggest thing was they had to get players out there that were going to try to more forcefully execute the offense. Against Utah, there was just a lot of stationary basketball or a lot of lateral passes between the wings and just kind of led to nowhere. So you put those two freshmen out there, and especially with Mylene Rolfe, who's not necessarily looking for a shot, kind of like the same way Montea Dew plays, you're going to have an awful lot more movement and distribution. And that seemed to really jumpstart everything. And then Skylar came off the bench and played quite literally immaculately. She didn't miss a shot. So it seemed as if the shot in the arm worked there. It's just a question of whether they're going to be able to continue doing that because they have struggled with consistency this year.
Lauren Swan, is she a surprise, or was it expected that she could be a player who could come in and contribute at a high level right away?
It sounds like it was a bit of a surprise. She joined us yesterday and was a little bit late on the recruiting scene. Said that Arizona was her first Big Four visit and took it pretty late in the process. So it sounds as if it was a little bit of a surprise, but once she got here, I mean, she's such a good shooter. And when she won her first Player of the Week, Freshman Player of the Week award, the biggest surprise that came from me was that she wasn't just a shooter, that she can score at all three levels. So she's been steadily growing into a bigger role. She just had that one cold snap where she went 3 games without any points, but bounced right off of that with that Utah performance. So I'm anxious to see. I haven't been told anything. I'm anxious to see if she's going to stick around in the starting lineup today.
Brea Cunningham shooting 65% from the field, one of the best averages in the Big 12, and I believe it's the top sophomore shooting average in the country. For Arizona, I mean, again, that's what you wanted when you looked at what potentially she could be for her second year, keeping her on the floor, staying out of foul trouble, feeding her down low, and getting buckets.
Yes, and I mean, the last part there is the biggest thing, just staying out of foul trouble. Because over the last season and a half, she's been prone to pick up some silly ones, but she shot 7 of 9 against UCF. I thought the best play that she made, though, was very early in the first quarter. She picked up a similar foul against Utah where she tried to go over the back and deny an entry pass, and she was reaching, and at the last second she alligator armed it and said, I should not do that at this point, and it just played strong defense and wound up forcing a miss without trying to force a steal. If she's able to continue to show that kind of growth, those sorts of little things that don't show up anywhere except the personal foul column, I think then she's going to become quite a force because, like you mentioned, she's almost a guaranteed bucket if she gets it down low.
You mentioned Mylene Rolfe, who's kind of maybe starting to come on a little bit, a freshman guard. This is again, we talked about last year's freshman class, but there's some talent In this freshman class here, from the international side of it, with Maylene Rolfe, and then you bring the forward Katarina Nezovic into the scene, and she showed the ability to shoot the ball pretty well from the outside. A little bit maybe unsung freshman class, or was there, again, like I asked the question about Lauren, was there a belief that these other two freshmen could come in and they would be rotational players right away?
Especially with Rolfe, she was playing on pretty big stages internationally. So I think that both of them you recognized struggled a bit, probably with the speed. They were turning the ball over a lot. Knezovic still does struggle with turnovers pretty frequently. Rolfe, now that she is hanging on to the basketball, it seems like the next step with her is just becoming a little bit more comfortable looking for a shot. She seems like she turns down an awful lot. But it's the same sort of token where there's players like with Cunningham and Jada in particular that are aggressively looking for their shots. It's almost like a benefit having somebody out there who's willing to play pass first. So it's fun watching her develop. The team went through the first, say, 6 weeks, averaging close to 20 turnovers. So finding players that are able to hang on to the ball like Rolfe has started to has been probably one of the biggest factors in their development. That, and like Barnes mentioned yesterday, just making sure they're running the offense.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the turnovers, and that was a huge issue early. To me, if Sanaya Jai could get that under control, I mean, I think eventually she's probably got the talent to be, if not the best player on this team, right up there. She just has to be a little bit more under control. And granted, she didn't play a lot last year at South Carolina, so still trying to maybe, find her sea legs on the college level. But, man, she shows the potential to be a really dynamic player.
Yo, she's a freak athlete for sure, and got all the length to go with it. You see, again, the huge development, especially on the offensive end with her, where the first 4 or 5 weeks, every time she got the ball, it was almost a guarantee a shot was going up. And now she's starting to, run the offense. It's funny when you're working with all of these very, very young players, where the standards need to be set and expectations laid. And right now, the coaches are just trying to make sure everybody knows a play and will effectively run it. And Ja's coming around in that regard.
All right, what are Derek Palmer's keys to the game tonight?
I got to rebound. That's always key number one. Even as this team doesn't seem to be meeting Barnes' lofty defensive standards, they are forcing an awful lot of misses on the first shot. Got to make sure that they're 40 minutes rebounding, 40 minutes worth, I should say. And then hanging on to the basketball is number two, and just avoiding that stationary offensive approach that they had against Utah. They played 3 Big 12 games and had one very capable game against BYU, and one very good game against a bad UCF team, but then that Utah stinker in the middle is still kind of making a lot of people just hold off to see exactly what the ceiling might be with this team. And if they come out there and play like they did against UCF, I'm not going to say they're going to win by 20, but they're certainly not going to look as frustrating as they were against Utah. It's just a matter of running the stuff.
It is Arizona and BYU. It'll be on KTUC AM 1400. Tip-off at 6 o'clock. Coverage begins with Derek at 5:45. DP, have a great call tonight.
Hey, thanks so much.
Derek Palmer, longtime voice of Arizona women's basketball. You also hear him on Arizona softball in the spring over on KTUC AM 1400, and you'll have a chance to listen to him tonight. And again, Saturday will be a doubleheader game with the ladies playing at 2 and the men at 8. We'll get more into that as we go on this afternoon. It is DK on the Sports Tip. Much more coming up straight ahead for you. It is windy as all get out here in Tucson right now, and it's starting to get cold. We're gonna talk about that coming up later in this hour, about 3:45, with my guy Matt Brode from News Channel 4. We'll get the meteorologist look at what is happening with all this wind and how cold it might get coming up later tonight and into the morning. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. You can now hear us on our free app from the app and Google Play Store, streaming on wildcatsradio1290.com, iHeartRadio and Odyssey app, and even on 1290 AM. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Premium, by definition, a product of superior quality and therefore a higher price. SweetDeals.com's new Premium tab is here to break all the rules. Premium products without the extra cost. Designer handbags, luxury cruises, autographed sports memorabilia, gift cards to your favorite eateries, stores, and more. Priced up to 70% off. Premium just got affordable to all. Shop, score, save. Up to 70% off. SweetDeals.com. Click on the Premium tab and reward yourself today.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
It's like you got one of those 250 horsepower engines.
I think 390, 360.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. What do you got?
It's a Hemi 5.7.
Are you out there street racing?
So here's the headline. Cricket, famous for traffic reports, crashes her car going 115 on Speedway. Probably not the best headline.
There
So,
you go.
yeah.
Right. All right, you're not jumping over anything like
Dukes of Hazzard.
right?
No, I want to, though. It's epic.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month.
Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can.
Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's
brilliant.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Gross.
Give the people what they want.
Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year.
Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
Keep your New Year's car care resolutions and save right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a $12 gift card after rebate when you purchase 4 or more AC Delco Iridium spark plugs, or protect your engine with Prestone Universal Antifreeze and Coolant, only $16.99 a gallon. Talk to your professional parts people about your car care resolutions in store at O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 12th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in in-demand fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills and credentials you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
You got me! The galaxy is safe once again.
Sometimes kids play with pretend guns. It's up to us to make sure they don't play with real ones. Keep yours stored locked and unloaded. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, it is time to get you home safely as we do every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With road work on Grant eastbound and westbound, Grant Road east of Country Club to east of Alvernon Way, travel shifted in some areas and down to one lane. Dodge Boulevard closed north of and south of Grant Road. Instead of Grant, maybe you could use Glen, Fort Lowell, or Pima instead. Chance of showers this afternoon, wind advisory till 10 tonight, lows near 35. 56, mostly sunny tomorrow, windy 48 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
That sounded like you doing that spot there, Dragon Ball. Was that you?
No. If it was me, I did not get informed, and therefore I have no contract. So I would like there to be a contract next time I do it.
Absolutely. We gotta get you paid a little bit more here.
I'm not going to complain about that.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. It is time now for your BetQL plays of the day. This BetQL top play brought to you locally by Oro Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle.
It's Giannis versus Wemby. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Giannis continues to make his push for the NBA MVP, coming off a triple-double. Giannis and the Bucks welcome Wemby and the Spurs to town, and Milwaukee is a 5.5-point home favorite. The BetQL model likes the home team. Bucks minus 5.5 is a 5-star best bet. I'm Joe Ostrowski. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
All right, well, I'm a little bit disappointed that we did not get a play on the big game tonight, which is the Thunder at the Cavaliers. My Cavaliers in Cleveland. I mean, they must be going bonkers right now. We're about an hour and 20 minutes away from tip-off in downtown Cleveland. I don't see what is there a temperature on that game. I don't see it currently in Cleveland, but I'm sure it's probably cold there. 31-4 Cavaliers, 30-5 Thunder. Thunder have won 10 games in a row. Cavaliers have won 15 games in a row. Dragon Ball, first time ever that you've had this in the NBA. First time in the history of the NBA you've had a team with 10 straight wins playing a team that's got 15 consecutive victories.
Yes, no, big matchup with that. I think you may have gotten those streaks reversed. I think it's the Thunder have 15 and the Cavs have 10.
Is that right?
I believe so, because looking at the schedule
I want the Cavs
here,
to have as many wins as I can.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 for the Cavs, 15 for the Thunder. But nonetheless, I mean, these are two teams that are extremely hot. Again, JW has mentioned it many a time that the Thunder is probably, by his estimation, the best all-around basketball team that is in the NBA right now. And the Cavaliers right now have the most efficient basketball team in the world right now. Again, you got the first place in field goal percentage, Cavaliers, first place in three-point percentage, and right now the only thing really keeping them from being probably the favorite to be out in the East is the free throws. I mean, they're 19th right now with a 77%, but that's because they get the ball down low to their bigs. They play an old-school style of basketball. You got Evan Mobley still doing very, very good things out there in Cleveland right now, and just looking at their whole squad, it's a shock to me that this is a team that, for all intents and purposes, should go through Donovan Mitchell 100% of the time. They seem to have it where whoever has the hot hand goes. I mean, Jarrett Allen was the leader in points for them last time out, if I'm not mistaken, with 19 in the game against the Hornets. which, again, we can talk about the Hornets a little later on because they did beat the Suns. But nonetheless, it was Darius Garland who led them in points with 15. But Jared Allen, of course, 11 rebounds, dominating that. And Chris LeVert, 6 assists, only 2 turnovers from one of your ball-handling guards. And for the Thunder, I mean, what else can you say? They've got youth at every single position. No one seems to be over the age of 26, 27 years old in Oklahoma City. The fountain of youth is there, and it's only going to get better because of all the picks they have.
Jeez. So this is Cavaliers minus 3.5. Now, I'm like I said, I'm mad. The BetQL people did not give us a play on this game today. They didn't give us a prop on this game. Biggest game in the NBA in years. Maybe I'm stretching that.
Maybe a bit. The biggest regular season matchup in quite a while.
Cavaliers minus 3.5. Who are you taking on that?
I like the home team in this regard. I think that the Thunder traveling to the East, that's going to be an interesting thing to see, only because the last time they lost, it was against a Bucks squad that also has a lot of size down low. I mean, in that loss that they had against the Bucks, Giannis kind of took over 26 points. Again, that was in the NBA Cup, so a lot of people are saying that game doesn't count in the grand scheme of things, but again, 19 rebounds, 26 points from Giannis. I expect to see one of the bigs from the Cavs to really kind of challenge the Thunder down low and see how badly they want to work, particularly on the defensive glass. Because, again, Giannis dominated that side of the ball when these two squads, when the Bucks last beat the Thunder. But I expect the Cavs to kind of look to their big guys to go ahead and try to set the pace down low and try to force the smaller, younger Thunder to try and really put a body in the box outs.
Go get you a body.
Get you a body. Speaking of, by the way, if you want, I have that clip.
You have that, please.
Kusa feeding Koloko. Bring in the house down. Wow. Okay, Ben. Pick me up, Smitty. I fell out of my chair. Blocking foul on Krisa. Or Larson. Check that. Pelle Larsson picking up the foul.
No, they're talking right now. Look at Ben and Eddie. Ooh, go catch your body, Ben.
Go catch your body, Ben.
Eddie, in that situation, he's not trying to get the TCU fans involved.
So now it's go catch you a body, Hen. As in Henry Vesar. Although I don't know if Henry's dunk compared at all to Cooper Flagg, who put somebody on a poster.
No, that one hurt.
Gosh. And LeBron's dunk last night?
Oh, the switch in the midair.
Holy mackerel.
The switch
that dude
hands
is
in midair.
40.
And people say he can play 5 more years.
40.
Suddenly now it's not.
That's why he could play 5 more years, because he can still do that at 40. My gosh. Wow. Okay. Cavs by 3.5. The Dragon Ball's taking that. Bucks by 5.5 over the Spurs is our 5-star top play tonight. We didn't do too well last night. In fact, we haven't done too well the last 2 nights. We had the Pelicans +5 last night over the Timberwolves, and Minnesota won that game by 7. So that was a loser. And then, speaking of LeBron, we had the Lakers and the Mavericks last night over 219.5, and that game came in at 215 as the who won that game again? It was the Mavericks winning 118-97. So and then the night before, we had the Sixers and the Suns over 221.5. I believe that was Monday night. And that game came in at 208. So, yeah, we've lost 3 nights, 3 in a row now on the NBA. So, bet wisely, bet safely, bet responsibly, and all of that good stuff. That is your top play from the BetQL Network, brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle. We'll take another timeout, come back, and we're going to try to get a handle on what's going on with this weather. DK on the Sports Tip, along with Dragon Ball and Cricket. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in Southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I could enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing for your next set of tires or automotive repair, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
You'll find an entire page of them online at jackfurriers.com. Savings on tires, oil changes, batteries, wheel alignments, and more.
So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, here to get you there.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SCORE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SCORE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SCORE.
Remember, you can hear all the action of Arizona men's basketball this season with Brian Jeffries on Amazon's Alexa by saying,
Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290.
The only place to hear Arizona men's basketball is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in Southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, it is Arizona, and man, has the weather really changed over the course of the last week. We were out golfing on New Year's Day and feeling good about ourselves, and then this morning, and not only did we have to kind of reach for the heavier coat, but man, I think I had to put my chin strap on to make sure my hat didn't fall off because the wind has been howling all day here in southern Arizona. And to find out what exactly is happening and what is in store, because it is supposed to really get cold tonight, I got to bring in my guy, Matt Brode, the chief meteorologist over at News Channel 4. Matt, how are you doing? I think it's the first time you've been on the show, so welcome to DK on the Sports Tip.
Hey, thanks for having me, David. Good to hear your voice after just too long, man. Really good to be with you.
Absolutely. So what is going on with all this wind all of a sudden? My goodness.
David, we worked together long enough. You should remember when I say there's going to be a change to the weather pattern, there's always going to be wind preceding that change. You alluded to it. The change will be cold temperatures. You said it was cold this morning. Wait till you hear my forecast for tomorrow morning. But oftentimes that wind kind of sets the tone for those changes that are forthcoming, and that's exactly what we're seeing today.
So is the wind, is it being charged by something, or is it just this system that you mentioned is coming in, and that's just kind of the frontal part of it?
Well, of course, you know what's happening in Southern California, undoubtedly. Yeah. So anytime you got these little things called high pressures and low pressures, you put these things kind of closer together, and that creates what we call, I don't want to scare people away, but a pressure gradient. So, yeah, the pressure gradient, or the ability, the force that lets the wind blow, is kind of cranking. And we typically see this during the winter. I think people have just forgotten about it because we have just been so warm and we've been so dry. Like you were saying, you were golfing on New Year's in the 80s. So, yeah, it's just been quite some time since we've seen this.
Matt Brode from News Channel 4 is joining us. And you mentioned, obviously, what's happening out in Southern California. We talked about that in our first segment. Of course, all of our prayers going out to everybody that's involved with the fires out there. There's been a mist, kind of a cloud over the city also this morning. Is that just a result of dust, or is any of that related to the smoke in Southern California?
No, that smoke's blowing away from us. That's just, we have not had rain, David Kelly. We've had one wet day since the monsoon ended. Of course, you know this. Monsoon ends the 30th day of September. So that wind, those 50, 60-mile-an-hour gusts, we're just picking up. And that's why our air quality is so bad. Now, hopefully, that mist you see over the city, we are seeing some of those scattered showers and even some snow showers moving through. And hopefully, you know, the heavier that becomes, the more able that is to kind of quell some of those dusty, kind of gross conditions that you see across the city.
All right, so how cold is it going to get? Because I thought I saw you tweet something that looked kind of white with some flakes on it earlier.
Well, that was my kind of aggression saying there's a 24% chance of seeing snow in the city of Tucson. Oh. Now, let's look at it from the other side of the coin. That means there's a 76% chance that we don't. But fortunately, we are seeing those showers move through. Hopefully, that settles the dust. And right now, I got a projection right at the, you know, we forecast for the airport. We forecast everywhere. But officially at Tucson International Airport, I'm going 30 for a morning low tomorrow for your Thursday. Wow. And that will be the coldest we've seen in just about 1 year, David Kelly.
Wow, 30 degrees. Man, oh, man. Winter is here. It's funny because my wife and I were just talking about it, and she's like, it's going to get cold this week. And I said, well, you know, that's kind of how it is back where we're from. And Matt, you're from that same area there in the Midwest. You're a Michigan guy. We're Ohio people. And usually when January hits, that's when we start seeing those 5-degree, 10-degree temperatures, and it starts to really get into the freeze part of the year. I said, hey, it's no different out here. We hit January, and that's when the cold starts to hit here, or at least our cold here in southern Arizona.
Our 30 is not Detroit or Cleveland, you know, negative 20 wind chill. So, you know, we temper that somewhat here.
There you go. Now, I mentioned that Matt is a Michigan guy. You're having a pretty good 2 years of football, my brother. You're a huge Wolverine fan. Your Wolverines go and win the national championship last year. And now, and then your Lions, they started getting their lives together here in the last few years, and they're heading into the playoffs as the #1 seed.
Wow.
No pressure there.
I'm not going to say my age, David, but I tell you, I never thought this would happen, honest to God. Here we are. I should ask you a question about this because you're the sports guy.
Okay.
With all these defensive injuries, I mean, what they did to Minnesota was pretty astonishing. How sustainable is this run? How sustainable is this defense?
I'm wondering if Minnesota really cared to play a whole lot in that game because I don't know. But yeah, you guys, I mean, the injuries are that's a tough deal when you get, I think, to this part of the year because there are some really good quarterbacks in the postseason. That's why I'm even though you guys are the number 1 seed, I'm a little concerned about the Lions and what they could face. Obviously, you get a week off, so that's huge. I think if anybody needed that bye week, it's the Lions to maybe try to get a little bit more healthy coming into this, but it's going to be a dogfight in this NFC. I to be quite honest with you, I don't know that. I mean, I don't know that there's a favorite. I mean, I think Philly's maybe got the best total package right now. But I would, and obviously I got Philly ties with my dad being from there, but I definitely would love to see your guys get to the Super Bowl and get themselves off that list with my Cleveland Browns and I think the Chargers and Seattle Mariners, or I forget who else is on that list of teams that's never been or never won it.
Well, that's my hope too, my friend.
There you go. Hey, Matt, always appreciate the chance to talk to you and where people can find you. Obviously, News Channel 4 coming up here at 4 o'clock. You guys will be on the air, so stay tuned with Matt on everything else that is happening in terms of the weather. And it's at Matt Brode on the Twitter as well. I believe at MattBrode is still your handle.
2 T's, but that's correct. Yep.
Okay, there you go. Matt Brode at Twitter. You can find him there with all your latest weather updates. We'll talk to you again soon, my brother.
Hey, appreciate catching up with you, buddy.
Matt Brode from News Channel 4, News 4 Tucson. I always enjoyed working with Matt during the 3.5 plus almost 4 years that I spent over there on the TV side. All right, that's going to wrap up hour number 1. Much more coming up for you. We're going to talk some more Arizona Wildcats basketball. We'll get into Koa Pete, the top basketball high school prospect here in the state of Arizona, was in town last night. We'll let you hear from his head coach who talked after the ball game. Right now, though, Dragon Ball going to rejoin us because he's going to tell you all about what's happening in sports here in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, the Wildcats came out with a win over West Virginia last night. They continue to shore up their three-point defense, which was struggling during the non-conference slate of games. And Tommy Lloyd, well, he seems to like where that side of the ball is going right now after finishing the road sweep of their first Big 12 Conference road trip.
I think overall our defense it's there. It's right there. You know, with TCU, we didn't have a great stretch. We're finding when we take care of the ball and we don't give runouts, our defense is pretty good in the half court, and then obviously rebound. I mean, you know, we're no different than any other team. And you know, the threes come. I mean, these teams have good shooters, and you know, I'm sure we'll go back and watch. You know, I mean, number 10 hits 2 threes. We're probably living with that. You know, 13 hasn't made a 3 in a minute. You know, shot it great in the Bahamas. He makes 2 threes. I don't know. We're living. 11 only makes 1 3. We didn't want him to make 3s. And Small made, was he 3 of 9. And he made a couple. I mean, I think I would look at some of our coverage, and they could have been a little bit better on him. But he's a heck of a player. I mean, those are great shots.
Again, Arizona will be returning home here soon as they now have their eyes set on UCF back at McHale. And continuing out of their roster through the portal, the Arizona football team continues to get more additions at positions of need. Former Chattanooga wideout Javon Watley and ex-Oregon State offensive lineman Flavio Gonzalez both commit to the Wildcats. Watley marks the 5th receiver to join the Cats as the team prepares for life after Tetairoa McMillan, while Gonzalez makes his return home, the Tucson native who graduated from Pueblo High back in 2018. And the California fires right now causing a lot of potential shakeups with sports throughout the state, as the NHL has already announced that the Kings will not play their home game today due to the fires, while the NFL is currently monitoring the situation with the Rams' upcoming playoff game against the Vikings takes place on Monday. No changes to that game have yet to be announced. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With a stalled vehicle, Miracle Mile and Flowing Wells, and Miracle Mile for a stalled vehicle reported. 6-lane widening project on Valencia, east of Cold Road to west of Houghton. Completion expected mid-2026. And for your weather, chance of showers this afternoon. Wind advisory till 10 tonight. Overnight lows near 35. 56, mostly sunny tomorrow, and 51 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
NFL Sunday Night Football plays here.
Stroud will line up, takes the snap, drops down to his left knee. That's it.
Here, U of A grad and former Wildcats Radio 1290 host Ryan Radke with the call every Sunday night.
Stroud gets the snap. He's back to pass. Blitz coming. Gets picked up. Throws down the middle. Collins has it. Inside the 10. Inside the 5. Collins in the end zone. Touchdown, Texans.
We are Tucson's home for the National Football League. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? Yeah, you bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 1290WILDCAT. That's code 1290WILDCAT for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 and over. Arizona only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the reason to get started.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. With the biggest pre- and post-game coverage in the Big 12. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Out number 2 on Wednesday, it is basketball night in Arizona. Arizona women's basketball going to take on Baylor at McHale Center. Tip-off coming up at 6 o'clock. We had a chance to talk to Derek Palmer a little bit earlier. He'll be on the call, and coverage will begin at 5:45 over at KTUC AM 1400. I mentioned there is a doubleheader coming up on Saturday. Both the men and the women will be at McHale Center. We will, of course, have coverage of both of those games. The ladies will play early at 2 o'clock against, I believe they're playing Iowa State, and that'll be on 1400 KTUC. And then, of course, the men will be playing Central Florida. So a couple of teams that we're not used to seeing here in Tucson will make their first treks into the building. Like I mentioned, I'm really looking forward to seeing Baylor here tonight in terms of Arizona women's basketball. But let's not kid ourselves. The game is on February the 16th. Mm-hmm. Sunday, February the 16th, when Maddie Connor, Haley Van Lith, and the TCU Horned Frogs come to town. That's going to be the home game of all home games for the Arizona women's basketball team this season. But, again, and that could be because of now, granted, Haley Van Lith and Maddie Connor will be gone after this year. I believe they're both one-year players currently as far as this year's team is concerned. So, but, is that going to be a rivalry? Can TCU be a rivalry going forward? That's possible. I still think the rivalries on the women's side, you're looking at Baylor as being one of those. You're looking at potentially BYU being another one of those. I think those are going to be your two main rivals in terms of the women's side. And let's see, again, we go to Kansas this year. We've got the Baylor men coming in here. That'll be the next home game after the one on Saturday. So that'll be Tuesday night's game. And I think they've got some special things coming up for that ball game. But so the home games this year for the men are Central Florida Saturday, Baylor Tuesday, then Colorado. We've seen them before. Iowa State will come in on Monday, January the 27th. Texas Tech, so the Wildcats will play them twice this year. They'll come in on February the 8th. That's a Saturday. Houston. So you've got Houston, Arizona men on Saturday, February the 15th, and then TCU, Arizona women on Sunday the 16th. Man, that is going to be a weekend right there with those, because Houston obviously is going to be on the men's side. That's going to be a rivalry, I think, that you're also looking to. BYU will also come in here. There's a home and home with BYU. They'll be here on Saturday, February the 22nd on the men's side. I think that's also going to be a big rivalry for the Wildcats. And, of course, Utah and Arizona State will be the other teams that come in and play here this season. You're between Baylor and Houston and BYU, Dragon Ball, who are you most looking forward to seeing come in here and play on the men's side?
From the men's side, I mean, all signs to me point to Houston. I mean, the Cougars have been one of those programs that have just managed to do everything that you really kind of look for in a dominant program over the last couple of years. A lot of deep NCAA tournament runs, a lot of, and sometimes people say that they were the favorite to win it all in the Big 12. I mean, this is a squad that overall Houston is showing some signs of their old glory years. And I'm excited to see exactly what comes up out of that. In regards to the other squads that are going to be in the Big 12, coming in, I mean, like you mentioned, the BYU game is going to be interesting to see. I mean, we're still waiting to see when that game's going to tip off. We don't know what day that game's going to happen yet because of the scheduling and everything like that. So I'm interested to see what that one's going to look like. I actually think I'm kind of tentatively excited for the Texas Tech game, to be honest with you. That one might be one of those Texas Tech's really trying to go ahead and get themselves out of the dregs of the middle of the pack of the Big 12 for the last couple of years, and maybe coming in to try and, usurp a West Coast powerhouse. That might be Texas Tech's, that's their game to try and really staple their resume if they want to get a chance at the NCAA tournament this year.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun as we begin to navigate, continue to navigate this new league that we're in and seeing some of the different colors and some of the different fan bases that are coming in here to have a chance to play against your Arizona Wildcats, Baylor being one of those teams tonight at McHale Center. 520-848-1290 if you want to chime in on that. Who are the teams that you're looking forward to seeing come in here? Whether it's Arizona men's basketball, whether it's Arizona women's basketball, whether it's baseball. We talk about TCU in Arizona on the baseball side. I mean, that's a team that's always been one of the better teams in college baseball. It's a team that I think they eliminated us, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago from the NCAA, from the regional round. I think that was the year they played in Oklahoma or Lincoln or one of those places like that a few years ago. So yeah, that's going to be, I think, a rivalry in this new conference for the baseball team. I think when you look at softball, I think Baylor's a team that's on that list. For the softball side of it as well, obviously Oklahoma State is on that list for sure. I mean, they're at the top of the list right now because they're by far going to be, with Oklahoma's and Texas's departure, they're going to be the best softball program in this conference. We'll get into some of the other spring sports that are really late winter spring sports because some of those preseason polls and whatnot are starting to come out. In fact, yesterday we got the tennis preseason Big 12 rankings. The men, Arizona men, Clancy Shields' squad got 2 first-place votes. They are picked to finish second on the men's side in the Big 12, followed by TCU. They are following TCU. TCU picked to win the Big 12 men's tennis championship. They got 7 first-place votes. So it's TCU, Arizona, Baylor, Arizona State right up there at number 4. Oklahoma State is 5, and Central Florida, that's your top 6 on the men's side. In fact, there are only, and this is where it begins to kind of get interesting, David, as we get into some of these other sports. Only 9 Big 12 schools play men's tennis. So we got TCU, Arizona, Baylor, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Central Florida, Texas Tech, BYU, and Utah. Those are the only 9 teams. 9 of the 16 teams play men's tennis. You do have the full allotment of 16 teams. Again, this goes all the way back to Title IX. You have the full allotment of 16 teams that play on the women's side. Their preseason poll looks like this. Oklahoma State got 15 first-place votes. They are the clear number 1. Baylor, Central Florida, Arizona State, Texas Tech. That's your top 5. BYU, TCU, Kansas, Arizona, Kansas State. That's 6 through 10. So the Wildcat ladies are 9th on the tennis side preseason in the Big 12. Iowa State, Colorado, Utah, and Houston. That is 11 through 14. Well, let's just add in West Virginia, 15. Houston and Utah are tied. And then Cincinnati is the team that is picked to finish last on the Big 12 women's tennis side. So good to see, though, that Clancy Shields and his kids are going to have a chance to compete, and that doesn't surprise me at all. I think they're going to be one of the top programs in men's tennis in this conference.
The biggest thing is that when you go into a new conference, no one's really sure if they're going to go ahead and give you credit for what you did in your old home. Mm-hmm. So the fact that Clancy and those players are going to get that respect, being the second favorite to win the conference, is actually a good sign of respect. Coming from a conference that probably looks at a lot of these newcomers as, well, are they as good as what we are, though? So good on them to actually have that recognition.
We're joined by the third member of our team today because, oh boy.
Sup?
Oh, man.
Well, you know, what's up is these cameras that the great Mark Simpson has rigged in here for me. And
he does good work. He does good work.
He does. You know, we love Mark. I just can't get a handle on all these new cameras and which direction they should be pointing and which shots I should be on. It's just, oh, there we go. That looks like a good one. I just have to. I can fix you. I can fix you, Cricket. I can fix you. No, you don't need to fix yourself because I can fix you.
He's got remote. He's got remote control.
I do have remote controls over here. I can.
I'm glad somebody can fix me.
It's like trying to go ahead and drive the what was it, the old Mars rover? You can drive it with the little like controllers or whatever from Earth.
Now all I got to do is get his name off of there, and get. See, all these names they're all messed up. Messed up on this because I should have been a little bit more prepared with this, but of course I'm never prepared. So
it looks complicated.
There you go. So you didn't get blown over getting here today, it appears.
Yeah. Barely.
Yeah. What's your neighborhood? Is there a lot of stuff flying around your neighborhood today?
Oh yeah, there's stuff. The dust. This morning, it's rarely ever windy when it's dark. You know what I mean? Usually wind dies down, but it was like 4 this morning. I'm walking my dog. The wind was so hard and heavy. Like it was just cutting through me. It hurt.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy out there right now, and it's supposed to get really, really cold. We had Matt Broad from Channel 4 came on in the last hour. He said we're looking at 30s tonight, and it's already starting to feel
freeze
like
warnings.
30 out there. Freeze warning. Maybe even he said 30% chance of snow, which means there's a 70% chance we won't get snow. But even a 30% chance, that's
any kind of precipitation from the sky right now is a wanted and very needed thing for a lot of people. Just because, at the very least, settle the dust down. That's the biggest thing. Because it's one thing for it to be windy; it's another thing for it to be dusty. Because that makes it a whole nother headache.
You're gonna need that new fancy wool blanket or furry pigskin blanket that you got or whatever it was.
Pigskin. There's a leather jacket.
I don't know.
It's like a fancy handbag.
I want to know what.
See, I can roll myself up in it, and then I can turn it into a purse and leave when I have to go to work. Right?
I want to know what kind of pigs that you're seeing that are woolly, because that's a dangerous animal.
Yeah, that's true. Well, aren't those the ones that roam around our parts here? Those aren't they they have fur on them.
Oh, javelinas are not woolly.
No.
They're wiry.
Yes.
Wiry. You don't want to touch them. You might cut your hand just on their back. Right?
There was an old comment that was made to me when I was a young kid going to the Desert Museum, where it said, if you ever needed to go ahead and cut the copper wiring of a pipe in your home when you're changing things out, just get a javelina hair, because it's just as bad as those wire cutters that you get where you have to like rub them around on the old copper piping.
Yep.
You could probably cut them out with a javelina hair because they're just that tough.
Ugh.
So we were out doing some more house shopping this weekend and Monday night. And so the new thing now is just like we're very kind of into, are there a lot of dogs barking? Because we went to this one neighborhood, and like we're just kind of walking down the street. It was like and just kind of checking out the whole block. And so we walked by this one garage, and it wasn't a garage. It was like an opening to the each of these homes kind of had like an opening into like a little courtyard as you go to the front door.
Nice.
And so this dog just starts barking. And bark, 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 comes up to the rock, 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 rock. And then literally every dog in the neighborhood starts barking.
Of course.
And it's like coming from all different directions, like rock, 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 rock. And so then Monday night we went out to another neighborhood and we're like, okay, are there any dogs barking?
I don't blame you.
Because like us, like, man, you never really think about all the things you have to think, all the things that you have to be mindful of when you're thinking about maybe potentially moving into a new neighborhood. Because like our realtor was telling us that like some young girl moved in next to her and she's got this dog that just won't stop yapping. And it's just like she had to go have a conversation with her.
I bet.
Your dog, people don't have to have conversations with you about your dog, do they?
No, but he barks.
Oh, does he?
And when he does bark and he's outside, the outside time is over.
Oh.
He's going inside.
Okay.
And he ruins it for himself all the time. We're having a night when the weather's nice. And it's like, it's so nice out. And then he's like, bark, bark, bark. I'm like, you're coming inside.
You ruined it for yourself.
He ruins it for himself all the time. I don't want him outside barking. At least if he's in the house barking, it's a little bit more muffled.
Yeah. There you go. Is your dog big? I don't know if I've seen any pictures of your dog.
I call him schmedium. About 45 pounds, yeah.
Okay. Schmedium.
He's got a huge bark. Huge.
Okay.
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
All right. Can you put it on tape and we can play it over the air?
You don't want to hear that.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if you've ever seen Cops, when they have the dog in the back that's barking and ready to go.
Yeah.
That's the same breed my dog is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he's loud and obnoxious.
Okay. All right. And his name is again?
Atlas.
Atlas.
Bratless.
Bratless. I like that. Atlas, the Bratless, the Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Palo Verde and Benson Highway in Palo Verde. Reported collision. Also, Park Avenue in Valencia, a little bit northeast of the intersection of Park and Valencia. Structure fire. Expect to see several fire crews on scene. Have a chance of showers this afternoon, like DK said, 30% chance of snow. There is snow in Sierra Vista. We do have a wind advisory until 10 tonight. Lows near 35, windy and 50 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Marco Polo.
Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark.
Plumber.
Right here.
Plumber.
Right here.
Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month.
Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can.
Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's
brilliant.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Gross.
Give the people what they want.
Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year.
Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go.
Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Are 30-day sample packs available?
You can now access a 30-day sample pack at TryRexMD.com with generics at just $1 per tablet, if appropriate. Online approval at TryRexMD.com is simple, with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit TryRexMD.com to get your sample pack. That's TryRexMD.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
I'm Taylor Bisciotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Raiders fired head coach Antonio Pierce after one full season and a 4-13 record, according to NFL Network insiders Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, and Mike Garafolo. Vegas becomes the sixth team with a head coaching vacancy. The Raiders released a statement saying, in part, "We appreciate Antonio's leadership, first as an interim head coach and this past season as the head coach. We're grateful for his ability to reignite what it means to be a Raider throughout the entire organization. We wish nothing but the best for Antonio and his family in the future." The Titans will make the first pick in the 2025 draft with a new general manager after firing Rand Carthon after 2 seasons. Meantime, Lions head coach Dan Campbell announcing running back David Montgomery, who suffered an MCL injury Week 15, is expected back for the divisional round of the playoffs. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. My guy, Bill McCulloch, checks in on the text group because I was talking with Matt Brode about the teams that have never been to the Super Bowl, and I think I said the Chargers. The Chargers are actually on the list of teams that has never won the Super Bowl, but of course they've been to one Super Bowl.
I would not call that an appearance. That was an overall Steve Young butt whooping.
Yeah, they got their butts kicked by the 49ers so many years ago. I think that was Stan Humphries was quarterbacking them at that particular time back in the day. But, yeah, they are one of the 12 teams, the Chargers are, that has been to the Super Bowl, they're one of the 12 teams that hasn't won the Super Bowl. That list includes the Buffalo Bills, who have been 4 times and lost all 4 times. The Minnesota Vikings, who have been 4 times. The Atlanta Falcons have been twice. The Carolina Panthers have been twice. The Cincinnati Bengals have been twice.
3.
3. Oh, yeah, 3.
I
think this article was before their last time. The Cardinals have been 1 time and lost at the buzzer. The Chargers once. The Titans once. And then you get the Browns, who have not been. The Lions, who have not been. The Texans, who have not been.
I might as well just say the city of Houston at that point. Yeah,
the Texans, Oilers, and the Jaguars. Who have not been. So there are 4 teams that have never been to the Super Bowl. And, of course, Matt Brode's Detroit Lions are one of those. They are the number 1 seed in the NFC. My Cleveland Browns are one of them, and I think we are scheduled to pick second in the NFL draft. So there you go. Probably not close to going to breaking that from my Cleveland Browns. So who out of that list? Let's just go throw out the fact that the Lions could get there this year. Browns, Texans, Jaguars. Who's the next team to get to the Super Bowl?
I mean,
that could be our question of the day today.
It's tough to say because I want to believe, I truly do want to believe the Texans have found their franchise guy in C.J. Stroud. That being said, boy, did that sophomore slump hit him hard this season.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the telling thing is it's never the first or the second years you got to watch out for rookie quarterbacks. It's always the third year. You've had 3 years in the NFL, 3 years to see how defenses work against you. That third year in regards to how they adjust is the biggest telling sign of if that guy's going to be the guy or just another guy. I'd like to think that the Texans are probably going to be at least in the contention of being in appearing in a Super Bowl next. Goff has had a up and down NFL career, to say the least, from going to be the one thing that kept the Rams from beating the Patriots in that Super Bowl where it was just a defensive slugfest. And listen, I don't hate those games. 10-9 games I like, because sometimes it's just a matter of one big break is all that decides it. But he had a lot of things that he had to get over before eventually becoming the guy he is now in Detroit. And that's the position that you always got to look at as quarterback. I think the Lions have the best chance of being the first team out of that group of 4 to appear in a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But whether or not they win it, that's going to be the other question. Again, for the Detroit, it's going to be the injuries. It's just the injuries is a huge issue. And the Texans also, they have injuries as well on their side, except theirs is all on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Where Detroit's been a mash unit on defense, seemingly the Texans have been just as much of a mash unit on the offensive side of the ball with all the injuries to wide receivers they've had this season.
So that's our question of the day, right? I'm always looking for something to elicit your opinions and great thoughts. And so our question of the day, take out the Detroit Lions because they are the number 1 seed in the NFC this year. Which of the other 3 teams that has never been to the Super Bowl will get there first? The Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the Cleveland Browns? My Cleveland Browns. I'll have this question up for you on Twitter here momentarily, and you can start voting on that. You can head over to Facebook right now or any of our other social media platforms and interact with the show in that respect. Don't forget to download our app because our app slaps, and I got a sweet deal coming up for you a little bit later as well that I'll tell you about. But our app slaps. There's all kinds of great information on our app. If you missed last night's show after the Wildcats went down to West Virginia and kicked some butt, you can listen to the show again on the app. You can read our it's one-stop shop. Just click on the story that says KJ Lewis leads Wildcats, and you've got everything there. You've got highlights of the game in there. You've got our show from last night in there. You've got the thoughts of Tommy Lloyd, KJ Lewis, and Jaden Bradley in there. We may play those for you a little bit later. You can also hear what the West Virginia folks had to say after their butt whooping at home and the Wildcats snapping their 7-game win streak. Speaking of streaks, the Charlotte Hornets had lost how many games before last night?
Before
they beat the Suns last night and spoiled all the good jujus that the club had going into Philadelphia and getting a win.
That would be 10 straight losses,
10
DK.
straight losses they had. I just want to read this one tweet here from my guy Cameron Cox. We may have to go and get Cameron on the show. We've not had Cameron on the show in quite a long time. He is a sports anchor up in Phoenix at News 12 or 12 News. I always get it backwards up there. But Cameron Cox, this is what Cameron put out last night. If I'm Matt Ishbia, this is the game that says all you need to know. Enough is enough. Wasted game by the Suns. Just more reasons to break up this team.
Yeah. I mean, I hate it. I hate it so much. Again, my dad was born the same year that the Suns were created, so that's been his team in terms of basketball for as long as I can remember, and I, of course, was adopted into it. And we both looked at each other after the last long Suns losing streak, and we just thought, it's done. You can't win with this squad right now. You can't.
Wow.
You can't do it with the way that the roster is mapped out. You spend so much time focused on scoring, you lose sight about the other parts of basketball that really, really matter. And this is the thing that I have to say this for the other Suns fans that say, no, just keep believing, keep believing. The fact of the matter is that, yeah, this is an offensively focused team. And everyone's going to say, well, the D'Antoni years, Sean Marion was a defensive-focused player that would get his offense on occasion. There's nobody on this team right now that fits that Sean Marion mold, or a Rajah Bell, who was a great perimeter defender.
Bell.
There's no good perimeter or interior defender on this team that I can really lean on and say, this is the guy I want to lean on and say he's going to be the one to stop the bleeding wherever it may be coming out. And it's just you don't have anything there. You got to just believe that there's going to be a brighter day, but that right now it's that dark winter season in Alaska where no sun is out right now. You got to look at potentially trying to break things up, and it only gets worse when you hear about what's up with Bradley Beal.
Yeah. I didn't know it got dark on Planet Orange, man. I thought it was sunny all the time.
No.
One guy had a good game last night, one Devin Booker.
Oh, yeah.
They have already hoisted 6 3-point shot attempts, Sandy. Not a big surprise again. The Suns only one. Booker on that baseline fade over Williams, and he gets the shooter's touch. Book waits for the screen, gets it off Lumley, rising up, straightaway 3, no. Follows the shot, says, I'll cash in the 15-footer. Martin defending Booker, able to dribble right past him. Nurk will square, fire the 3, and deposits it from downtown Charlotte. They come in here having dominated this series, winning 7 straight. Booker backing down on ball. Gets inside with a leaner. Nice soft touch. He's got a dozen. Yeah, we saw the tremendous ball movement last night as Book will step into that little 16-footer. To start this one tonight, Danny, as they have pulled it win 2. Booker, left elbow jumper, up and in with a LaMelo Ball foul.
LaMelo Ball, man.
Yep.
32 points for LaMelo Ball last night.
Yep.
39 for Devin. Kevin had 26. Beal came off the bench for the second game in a row, and he had 10. But the Suns lose for the 5th time in 6 games.
Never mind the 10 points. It was the shooting percentage that destroyed that. It was 0 for 2 from the three-point line and 5 of 13 in the game overall for Bradley Beal in 31 minutes. If a guy is shooting that poorly coming off the bench, he should not have 31 minutes on the court. I don't care how much money is involved. You can't have that.
We'll hear from Mike Budenholzer coming up a little bit later for you, if you care to hear what Mike. So was this a bad hire? I mean, is he still the coach? Is he the coach to put together or to work with whatever you're going to put together with this team?
You know what? I can't say that. I can't say anything about Suns coaching hires because, to be completely honest, it's not gone well since the removal of Al Gentry. That has been, like, in my opinion, as a Suns fan, that was the last good coaching hire that the Suns made in a long, long time. They didn't hit with Earl Watson. They didn't hit with Terry Porter. They didn't hit with there's a lot of guys that just had a cup of coffee and just didn't really make a whole lot of noise as the head coaches for the Suns. I wish we could go back to the Al Gentry days of the latter years of Steve Nash's tenure, because that seemed like the last time that there was really stability. Monty Williams seemed like he had that going for a bit, and then the DeAndre Ayton situation happened, and then just everything started falling apart from that point. I can't say that Budenholzer's a bad hire just because I don't know what a good hire looks like anymore from a Suns fan standpoint.
All right, we'll hear from the head coach of the Suns coming up shortly. But right now, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Palo Verde and Benson Highway in Palo Verde with a collision reported that's clearing. Park Avenue in Valencia, a little northeast of the intersection, a structure fire. Valencia and Park Avenue northeast of the intersection. Some backups on westbound Miracle Mile approaching I-10, also on westbound Ajo at Mission. And for your weather, we do have a chance of some showers this afternoon, maybe even some snow, slight chance. Wind advisory till 10 tonight, lows near 35, 56, mostly sunny tomorrow, and it is 51, windy now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Well, it's the first part of a new year, and some people are coming up with some pretty interesting New Year's resolutions.
I'm taking karate classes.
Hey, wait just a minute.
Let's get something really stupid tattooed on our butt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why not make your New Year's resolution to always save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn? You'll not only save up to 40%, but there's also no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn because they're on the reservation.
I'm getting married to the first girl I meet. Hey there, sweetheart.
And you can save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Let's try parachuting. Geronimo!
So save up to 40%, save with no city or state sales tax, and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. But maybe skip the skydiving. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month.
Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can.
Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's
brilliant.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Gross.
Give the people what they want.
Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year.
Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook board in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. Tomorrow, Notre Dame plays Penn State with a spot in the national championship game on the line. Today, James Franklin said he believes that every school should be in a conference. And in a 12-team playoff format where a spot is basically reserved for Notre Dame as long as they don't have more than 2 losses in a season, makes you ask, why the heck would Notre Dame join a conference now? I'm Zach Gelb.
Hey, Arizona, it's time for football at BetMGM. Take the field using promo code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, original bets, and the best daily promotions in the business. Plus, when you huddle up with BetMGM at your fingertips, every pass, every catch, and every game matter more than ever. Remember to use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Football is back, Arizona sports fans. Don't miss out on any of the hard-hitting action. Place your moneyline prop and parlay bets with BetMGM today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. Arizona only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Our question of the day is hot and live. Head on over right now to the Twitter and get in on it. Detroit Lions, one of 4 teams that have never been to the Super Bowl. Take them out of the question as they are the number 1 seed in the NFC this year with a great opportunity to break that. We'll see. They are injured. Last year, they were up 17, I think, in the NFC Championship game and lost to San Francisco. Yeah, so that was heartbreaking because it looked like it was going to happen last year, and it did not. So they remain on this list. So of the other 3 teams, which of these 3 teams gets to the NFL's big game first? The Browns, the Texans, the Jaguars. 2 of those 3 teams were really bad this year. Mm-hmm. And like Dragon Ball said, the other has what appears to be a franchise quarterback in C.J. Stroud. My mom loves C.J. Stroud. She's 89 years old. She's a big Ohio State fan. So C.J. is her guy. Whenever if we get to Sundays, she's always asking me, is C.J. on TV this week? I was like, I don't think so, Mom. It's Houston. We don't get all their games here. You can go over to the Salty Dog and watch the game over there.
Let's go to the Salty Dog.
I'm sure they got all the games over at the Salty Dog. You can go over there and watch it and see CJ play. So CJ Stroud is probably the best quarterback of that bunch right now. Trevor Lawrence looked like was it last year they got off to the quick start and they looked kind of good early.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they were in line to potentially make the playoffs, and then they lost like their last 5 or 6 games in a row or something.
Yeah, no, that's what happens when you disrespect the terrible towel. Because that's where the downfall came, and then it kept going this season. You never disrespect the terrible towel.
Okay.
Ernest Biner found that out the hard way, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. I heard something which is interesting. I haven't verified it, but I guess so I didn't, they play Renegade at different times during the Steelers games. Apparently the first game they played that I was at. It was the Browns-Steelers playoff game
at Old Heinz Field.
At Heinz Field in 2000, and I believe it was 2003 playoff game. I did not know that was the first time they'd ever played that. I remember when they played it. I distinctly remember that moment because I was there. I think I might have been. I can't remember. I think I was still in the press box at that time. I don't think I was down on the field. But I distinctly remember that moment and the energy it created in the building at that particular time because the Browns had like a 2-touchdown lead. And the Steelers were coming back, and I think they may have even taken the lead at that point. And they played that song, man, and that place went nuts. That's why I thought, this couldn't have been the first time they'd played it because everybody was so into it. But that was cool to find out that, man, I was at that game.
Yep,
that first game. Dennis Northcutt, he only catch the ball. Come on,
couldn't get out of bounds.
Come on,
couldn't get out of bounds.
We love you, Dennis. We really do. So our question of the day, let's just recap our question of the day from, and then we'll hear from Mike Budenholzer from the other day. And that was wrapped around the Arizona Wildcats and how many road games they're going to win in this new Big 12 conference. So the choices were 3 or less, 4 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 or more. They're 2-0. They've got 8 games left. The winner was a resounding 4-6, which is kind of where we all fell in. J-Dub and I and Dragon Ball, me and you, Dragon Ball, I think we said 5.
Yep.
J-Dub said 6. 43% of the voters said between 4 and 6 games, so right around half. And what I should have done is I should have kind of put maybe the 5 by itself and kind of maybe built in around that number to see if we could get more people to say, because, I think it's when you go 4-6, that's kind of a big curve there. I mean, if you only win 4 versus if you win 6, so I probably should have kind of built this poll a little bit better than I did. But there were 33%. This was surprising. The second most votes went to 9 or more.
I think a lot of that is just, I'm never going to bet against the Cats. That's that Kelvin Efon approach. I'm never going to bet against the Cats. Never bet against the Cats.
Yeah,
I think that's that approach. I appreciate the fever pitch that those fans that voted for that have, but nonetheless, we're looking at it based on a realistic standpoint. So if they win 9 and then they lose the 1 in Lawrence, Kansas, then fine. The 33% that voted that, you were justified. But again, realistically, I think we're all looking at that 4-6 mark as kind of like the bedrock of what we'd like to see.
All right, the Suns lose last night, and they've lost 5 out of 6. And Dragon Ball laid out some of the shooting numbers for Bradley Beal. Some other interesting numbers from that game. The Hornets were 26 of 29 from the line in that contest. They went to the line 10 more times. The Suns as a team shot just 8 for 33 from 3. They gave up 20 offensive rebounds to the Hornets. That's an issue there.
Oh, yeah.
And Booker was only 2 for 8 from 3 in the game. Mason Plumlee, though, his line, 0 points, 13 rebounds. Is that a good night?
I mean,
I don't know. Is that a good night to have 0 points and 13 rebounds?
For any number of the many Plumlees that we see around the NBA, I feel like that's kind of like par for the course. That's usually what the Plumlee family tree looks like in regards to the points. Yeah. Oh no, if you're putting Mason Plumlee in as your starter, you're putting him in there for eating up a body, freeing up other guys to rebound, because Nurkic was not doing that.
Go get you a body, Mace. Go catch you a body, Mace.
Mason needs to be catching 3 or 4 the way that coach, the way that the decision making was on the defensive glass there.
All right, Mike Budenholzer talked about Devin Booker's play on both sides of the ball.
I think we probably played through him a lot. The first quarter we were in a great spot. I thought defensively, everything. And just really the second quarter, we couldn't maintain what we started in the first quarter. It's always a 48-minute game. We got to find a way to play for 48. Offensively, defensively on both ends.
Suns led by 7 at the end of 1 and got outscored by 20 in the second quarter, of which they only scored 17 points. And that was where the game turned for the Charlotte Hornets. Booker obviously has been dealing with some lower extremity injuries. Budenholzer addressed that.
I think the leg is okay. The medical always does a first pass through, and I didn't get anything, on just the first pass through for tonight. So hopefully, he played a lot, and I'm sure he's feeling that, but I don't think there's anything more.
Jusuf Nurkic, coming off the bench along with Bradley Beal, played 19 minutes in this game. And who's this? Oh, Oso. How do you pronounce this? Iodaro. Ooh, you're very good at that one there. Iodaro. Okay, let's hear from Budenholzer on staying with Nurkic over Oso.
Yeah, with those 3 guys, it's a little bit of gut feel. And I think the rebounding, the size, their 5s, and just really their wings. So, each night just trying to figure out what the best group is, and went with Nurk and Mason in the second half tonight.
Has Grayson Allen been a disappointment this season? I feel like last year we were talking about him almost every game, and I feel like this year I haven't even really heard much about him. We haven't talked about him. I mean, is what's going on with
his early season injury? Just threw off his entire development. It seems like. I mean, we go to this point now where Grayson Allen was supposed to be in Ryan Dunn's position, but because of the lack of defensive, output from this team, again, Kevin Durant puts up 26. Devin Booker puts up 39. No other player other than Bradley Beal scoring in double digits, and a lot of that just based on the fact that 31 minutes. Give credit to Bradley Beal, 5 assists. So hey, he's at least distributing the ball. Why is it though that Tyus Jones only had 4? And Devin Booker had to have 10. We're in a situation where, once again, I don't mind that they want to have Devin Booker be the ball handler primary coming down the court. That's not his position. He's not a point guard. He has to be an off-ball 2 guard. Let him be that. Let him be a guy who can score in space and be focused on defense. He shouldn't be the guy that's distributing the ball on offense. That's what you brought in Tyus Jones for. That's why you traded for Chris Paul a few years back. You wanted to let Devin be the number 2, the 2 guard. But you don't have him doing that right now because you have him playing point. It gets a lot of, and also just the fact that Budenholzer says, oh, well, we wanted to stick with Nurkic and Mace. Let's not just forget, that's 19 minutes compared to 6 between Nurkic and Iodaro. Only 1 rebound more than Oso did. And Oso did that in 6 minutes. 2 rebounds in 6 minutes. Nurkic had 19 and only got 3 rebounds. I mean, that to me is, you're picking the wrong person to pair off if that's what your decision is. Also, not playing Bol. I mean, if you need size, let a guy like Bol be an added benefit to you who also has some dribbling capability.
All right, the Suns are 16-19. They're 5th in the Pacific Division. They're not even in the playoffs right now.
No.
If it ended today, and they will play tomorrow night at home to start a 3-game homestand. Atlanta, Utah. Lowry comes to town on Saturday, and then the rematch against Charlotte, which will be Sunday evening. DK on the Sports Tip. We'll talk some high school basketball in the 5 o'clock hour. Cole Pete was in town last night. Big-time recruit here in the state of Arizona. The Wildcats would like to see him stay home and play for the home state team. We'll hear from his head coach and a little bit more. But right now, Dragon Ball is going to tell you everything that's happening here in Southern Arizona in sports and around the world.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, the Arizona women's basketball team gets set for tip-off against Baylor tonight. Adia Barnes' squad looks to make it 2 wins in a row in the Big 12 after coming off of a blowout win against UCF last time out. This is what Adia Barnes had to say as they prepare for the Baylor Bears tonight.
So Baylor's really athletic. They run a lot of different things. They have some great guards, and we know Nettie from inside is a great player. So I think they're good, and I think the style is different to me than a typical Big 12 team. So more athletic, but we're used to that, and that's kind of the style we play. So I think it's going to be a good game.
Again, Baylor and the Arizona Wildcats tip off here at the top of the hour on our sister station, 1400 KTUC. And the Suns ended up taking a loss yesterday against the Hornets. You just heard us talk about that. But another thing to go ahead and watch out for is off the court, Bradley Beal saying that he has not had any discussions, either he or his agent, about waiving his no-trade clause right now. Beal struggled in the latest game coming off the bench, only scoring 10 points against the Hornets, again, taking out of the starting lineup in the last few games. After initial reports hinted that Antonio Pierce would be retained, the Raiders have elected to fire the former Arizona Wildcat and will search for another new head coach, although they will be retaining general manager Tom Telesco. Also joining Pierce in the recent firings around the league, Titans let go of their general manager Ron Carthorne, but the Cowboys have denied the Bears permission to interview with their coach Mike McCarthy after they sought him out for a head coaching position. The Bears now will reportedly turn their attention to interviewing former Seahawks and USC head coach Pete Carroll on Thursday. And I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 2020 Sports Update.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Backups on westbound Miracle Mile approaching and passing Flowing Wells, Palo Verde and Benson Highway in Palo Verde with a collision from earlier. We've got some on Roger Road in Romero, southeast of the intersection, a reported mobile home fire. And I'm Cricket, and for your weather, we've chance of showers this afternoon. Slight chance of some snow. Wind advisory till 10 tonight, lows near 35, and windy and 50 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas. All right, you had a good idea last month.
Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can. Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's
brilliant.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Gross.
Give the people what they want.
Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year.
Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I can enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing for your next set of tires or automotive repair, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
You'll find an entire page of them online at jackfurriers.com. Savings on tires, oil changes, batteries, wheel alignments, and more.
So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
Put up a three-pointer that'll count if it falls, and it does!
Do you believe in McHale Magic? Every voice matters. Every roar matters. And when your Wildcats take the floor against top 25 Big 12 opponents, you make the difference. McHale Center is the place to be, and the time is now to experience the high-flying action of Arizona basketball. Don't wait and lock in your tickets today by calling 520-621-2287 or by visiting ArizonaWildcats.com. Bear down. Go Cats!
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable. Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
KZUB Tucson Arizona Cumulus Media Station.
The one and only home of Arizona football.
Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip
With your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go!
And now,
A man who has not one, but 3 first names.
David Scott Kelly.
And we are starting the 5 o'clock hour with some breaking news in terms of something we talked about a little bit earlier. And, of course, there are some very terrible wildfires going on in Southern California right now around the Los Angeles area. Rancho Palos Verdes, Pacific Palisades, all a bunch of communities that kind of sit above the coastline in the southwest part of Los Angeles County. And the wind, if you think the wind here has been bad today, the wind in Los Angeles reportedly up to as much as 100 miles an hour while these fires are going on. I mean, that's hurricane force winds that they are dealing with, or we're dealing with. I think it's quieted down a little bit since the afternoon, but we're dealing with late yesterday and into this morning in Southern California. Now, there is an NFL playoff game that is scheduled to be played there Monday night. Super Wild Card Weekend. There'll be a game on Saturday. I think 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and then a game on Monday night. Now, just to kind of give you, we'll talk about what games we'll have here on Wildcats Radio 1290 coming up straight ahead. But we've got some breaking news on the situation as regards to Dragon Ball, the Vikings, and the Rams game.
Yeah, so we just had this break literally just right before the top of the hour from Tom Pelissero on Twitter/X. Right now, the NFL statement that they just released says that the safety of the Los Angeles community is in their hearts right now. They're going to continue to prepare to play the Vikings-Rams game at SoFi Stadium on Monday night. But with all of the contingency plans set in stone, their main thing will be that if they have to change the location, it will be played still on Monday night, but instead at State Farm Stadium here in Glendale, Arizona, if necessary. So if you are thinking about trying to go ahead and see the Rams game out in SoFi and you're an Arizona resident, you may not need to go that far if the fires persist. They will move that game to State Farm Stadium in Glendale if the fires continue to whirl up in the Los Angeles area.
Wow. So we could have, it won't involve the Cardinals, but we might have playoff football here in Arizona. Of course, we don't want that to be the case with everything that's happening out in Los Angeles. You'd like to at least have something that those folks will be able to rally around this weekend with the way the Rams got off to a little bit of a slow start this year and really played so well down the stretch to put themselves in a position to win the NFC West and get that home game against the Minnesota Vikings. So you want to see it played out there at SoFi Stadium. But as Dragon Ball just stated, if that can't be the case, that game will shift here to the state of Arizona and be played at State Farm Stadium up in Glendale. All right, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We're going to talk some Arizona basketball in this hour, both on the college level and as it relates to a big-time recruit that was in town last night for the chance for folks to get to see him play. Koa Pete, he is the number 1 recruit in the state of Arizona for the class of 25. He is the number 9 recruit overall in the country, according to On3 Sports. And he is at Perry, over in Gilbert, Perry High School. They were down here last night. They played Tucson High. They won 64-48. Koa Pete scored 22 points in that game for the Perry Pumas, as they go by, the Perry Pumas. Dragamon, have you seen this young man? I've not seen this young man play basketball. Have you seen him play at all?
I have seen the pictures, particularly of what happened at Tucson High just last night. To say that there was a concerted effort by Tucson High to not let that young man score would be to put it mildly. I mean, there was a picture, I believe, I saw on Twitter this morning, and it was just 4 guys just surrounding Koa Pete to try and keep him from having an opportunity to get to the basket. This is a guy who is he's got a lot to look forward to in regards to his basketball career. He's certainly living up to a lot of hype for a lot of people.
I put a piece of sound in there, Dragon Ball. We'll play it right now. This is the head coach. Now, Koa did not talk to the media after the game. He chose not to. He has at times talked. I believe they played the Hoop Hall over the weekend, and he did talk to the media after that ball game, but he opted not to speak with the media after the game here in Tucson last night. His head coach, Sam Dwayne, did, and he just talked about the young man that is Koa Pete.
For him, he's pulling straight A's right now. He's a great role. He's that high of a recruited player. His teachers love him for him. He's pulling straight A's right now. He's a great role model on our campus, our principals here, and he goes in and says hi to our principal every day. He's just a humble, down-to-earth, and right now he wants to be a kid, and business will come.
To what extent are you involved in his recruiting process?
I'm there for him, but you got to remember this family's been through this many times. And Andrus is in the NFL, so he knows the business part. He has great sounding advice with his family. If they ever need anything, I'm always there for him. But right now, me and him are focused on basketball and enjoying his senior year.
Did he talk about coming down to Tucson at all today? The fact that U of A is less than a mile from him?
No, he likes U of A, but we were really focused on Tucson. We knew we were coming into a hornet's nest tonight. We knew that this wasn't going to be an easy game, and we're coming off that national tournament, and then we have our rival on Friday, Bashes. So it was kind of a trap game, and we were really focused on this game.
Does he take a game like this hard? I mean, he still had 21 points and 14 rebounds.
He cares about winning. He's had games where he hasn't scored, and other guys have scored. And I'm not giving you a line, and I'm not being. He cares about winning, and he will do whatever it takes to win. That's why wherever he goes, they're going to win.
He's the biggest player out there today. That's probably the case in a lot of the high school games. What do you see him playing on the next level? What position and how do you see his skill set kind of fitting in when there are other guys?
Honestly, he can play all 5 offensive spots. He gets us into offense as a point guard. He handles the ball against the press. He plays in the post, and we switch screens so he can guard 1 through 5. When we played Westlake the other day, he was on Comini going to Duke. When we played early in the year Central Catholic Oregon, they have a point guard going to Wake Forest. He held that point guard to 4 points in the second half. He'll guard 1 through 5, and he'll play offense 1 through 5. That's another thing that makes him so special.
Can you tell you were at a high school gym there? I can tell you were at a high school gym. the sound of the
bleachers being pulled back in. Oh, man. I haven't heard that sound in so long, but immediately I remember every time I would hear it, I would still jump knowing they were putting them away because it is so loud. And it just goes to show, even in that little bit of audio you heard, it overpowers people when they're having conversations.
Koa Pete, now this is a young man that, he comes from a sports family. He's the youngest of 7 children. His dad played in the National Football League for the Cardinals and the Raiders, Todd Pete. His oldest brother, Todd Jr., played college football. His other brother, Andrus, is currently playing in the National Football League with the Saints. He had another brother, Cassius, who actually played up at Pima as a part of his career, played at Eastern, played at Pima, ended up going to Michigan State. Then he's got another brother, Keona, who's on the roster at Arizona State, and he's got a sister, Leilani, who is a college basketball player or played college basketball at Seattle and San Francisco, and then another sister, Maya, who is on the roster right now at Texas Tech as a basketball player. So, I mean, it is a family of athletes, and he is the top prospect on the list for the Arizona Wildcats this year. And I guess I think it's pretty quick. I think soon he is expected to make a decision. There's a lot, you know what they call those, a lot of people thinking that Arizona may be the leader in the clubhouse right now for Koa Pete's services. So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. Good to see him, though, have a chance to come down here and play in Tucson. If you had a chance to be at that game, I want to hear your thoughts. 520-848-1290. I was not there. We had, obviously, basketball duties last night with the Arizona Wildcats and post-game duties. But if you went to the game last night, what did you see? What did you think of Koa Pete? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We are going to chat a young man who was a young reporter, or he's maybe not that young anymore, but Javier Morales was at the game last night. We'll get Javier's thoughts here on what he saw, what it meant. I mean, he categorized it as this was one of the bigger college high school basketball games to be played here since Mike Bibby and Shadow Mountain came down when he was a player. Now, and of course, he coached there, but when he came down as a player and played here in Tucson, he hearkened it back to those days and how much it meant to have the top player in the state of Arizona come down here and play a game in Tucson. And give credit to the Badgers. They did a heck of a job in that game. Like Coach said, they did all they could to try to stop Koa. He got into some foul trouble, but still was able to get 22 points. It was a close game pretty much to, I think, the first 2.5 quarters before the Pumas were able to pull away in the end and win that game 64-48. We'll talk to Javier Morales next. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. We've also got our Desert Diamond Casino replay coming up for you later. Arizona women's basketball tonight at McHale Center. It is the Wildcats and Baylor. Coverage of that will begin in about 30 minutes over on 1400 AM KTUC. Right now, cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With a collision that occurred Miracle Mile at I-10, reported on Miracle Mile on the west side of I-10. A lot of backups on westbound Miracle Mile, approaching and passing Flowing Wells. Earlier collision, Palo Verde and Benson Highway in Palo Verde. Have a chance of showers, maybe even some snow. Wind advisory in effect until 10 tonight. Lows near 35 and 56, mostly sunny tomorrow. Windy, 50 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning. Keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Happy New Year and welcome to 2025. It's a new year, but we still have air conditioning and heating systems at last year's prices. We have high-efficient inverter systems for as low as $89 a month. For year-round comfort, call Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The LSU Tigers basketball team is 17-0 this season. Over the weekend, they defeated Auburn 73-63 to grab their second conference win of the year. LSU lost high-profile players Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith from last year's squad that made the Elite Eight. But if you thought this was a rebuilding season, think again. Head coach Kim Mulkey has the Tigers right back in championship contention, and they are now ranked 6th in the country. Junior guard Flau'jae Johnson leads the team in points and assists, and her teammate senior Anissa Morrow leads the country in rebounding, including 14 boards in the win over Auburn.
I know the SEC will be a lot tougher on the inside trying to rebound. I got to experience that last year. Just being able to be in position, even if the rebound is not for me, I could tip it to a teammate and just be active.
Up next for undefeated LSU is a trip to Knoxville to face 16th-ranked Tennessee tomorrow. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Maggie Gray on Westwood One.
And Doug. Limu wanted me to tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. He says because we all like to save a buck. No, okay, he said with the extra cash, you can lease a new truck. Wait, he said he went to middle school with geese and ducks? Actually, I think Limu just said squawk.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Once upon a time, our family had trouble with pests around our home. Did you know that stinging insects send tons of people to the hospital? And teeny ticks and mosquitoes can be all around the yard. Their bites can make people and their pets sick. Mice, rats, and roaches need food and water just like us. You do not want them to visit. They can spread disease and make it hard to breathe. I'm sure glad this story has a happy ending.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we continue to follow the breaking news that is the tragic fires in Southern California, and this is affecting a lot of people. And one person we are learning now that it has affected is legendary Arizona Wildcats basketball star Steve Kerr, whose childhood home has burned as a result of these fires in Southern California. Steve grew up in Pacific Palisades. His mother, Ann, still lived in that home. She was evacuated yesterday. Apparently, though, that home that Steve Kerr grew up in has burned as a result of these fires. Apparently, he did address some of this last night after the Warriors basketball game. We'll see if we can maybe get some of that sound for you towards the end of that home. But his home is located about 20 miles west of downtown Los Angeles, Pacific Palisades, a neighborhood with tightly packed homes, winding roads that sits, again, above the Santa Monica Mountains, right above the Pacific Ocean. And it was where he spent a large part of his childhood, Steve Kerr. And he said last night, after everything I'm seeing and reading, it's just terrifying what's happening down there. So just want to send thoughts to everyone who's going through the devastation of that fire. Obviously, the game is secondary to that, and to many things in life, perspective is important. So it's definitely sad to hear the situation with Steve Kerr's home being one of those affected, his childhood home where his 90-year-old mother lives, being one of those affected by those fires in southern Arizona. If you have any information you want to share on that, 520-848-1290. If you're out in Southern California, listening out in Southern California, I have a bunch of frat brothers, obviously, that I went to school with that still reside in the Los Angeles area, and some of them were sending out some of the pictures. I mean, just ash and soot just raining from the sky in Southern California. Let's hear what Steve Kerr had to say last night after the game about the situation with the fires.
Before I start, I want to send my thoughts and condolences to everybody in Los Angeles dealing with the fires. My mom lives in Pacific Palisades. She had to evacuate. Everett Dayton on our staff, he grew up in Pacific Palisades. From what I gather, his family home is lost. And everything I'm seeing and reading is just terrifying what's happening down there. So just want to send thoughts to everyone who's going through, the devastation of the fire. Obviously, the game is secondary to that and to many things in life, but, perspective is important. So is the game, and we're disappointed in the effort and the result tonight, and we've got to do better. Questions?
Steve, in what way did you expect more of a bounce back tonight or a readiness tonight after the Kings game?
I'm sorry?
In what way did you expect a bounce back after the Kings game?
Yeah, I mean, I expected better energy. I think we're suffering from a crisis of confidence right now, frankly. You can see it, you can feel it. I don't mind missed shots, but I mind when missed shots affect the defense and the attitude, and we feel deflated right now. And there's no room for feeling sorry for ourselves in the NBA. In life in general, right? We can't let disappointment dictate, our approach to the game. We have to do the opposite. We have to bring more fire. We have to outcompete our opponents when things aren't going our way. And that was what was most disappointing tonight. Was I just felt like everybody was down, and we didn't have a competitive spirit. And if you don't have that, you've got nothing. And so we've got to find a way to build that back up.
All right, that was Steve Kerr last night talking about the fires in Los Angeles, as well as his team's performance in a 114-98 loss at home to the Miami Heat. Pelle Larsson played limited minutes in that ball game, as well did Keyshawn Johnson. Both of them only played a minute in that contest with no stats to speak of. Talk about, he mentioned a crisis of confidence. There's another team in California who apparently has a crisis of delusion right now, and that is the UCLA Bruins, who lost on the road to Nebraska over the weekend and then came home with the Big Ten Conference for a meeting against Michigan, the 3-0 Michigan Wolverines at Pauley Pavilion, and got stomped 94-75. The Wolverines come into Pauley and win by 19 points. And then after that game, Mick Cronin let his team absolutely have it.
A classic.
Obviously, they shot the ball well. But we don't play. We're soft. You know, we're too soft to play hard enough. Even in the crucials, you can't get an offensive rebound. You know, it's like a 5-point game, and Kobe Johnson just has a guy take the ball from him. Same thing with Sebastian Mack. Okay, we finally do get a stop. Can't get a defensive rebound. They didn't have a million of them because they didn't miss that many shots, but there was a few in particular. Kobe, Sebastian, huge, back-breaking. And you got inside position. So don't tell me you want to win. Like, just don't tell me you want to win. You won't start the game. Tyler Bilodeau gave up 12 points. 2 screens, he didn't say a word, 3s, and then he got dunked on 3 times. So don't tell me you want to win. We're soft.
Yeah,
Aside from, to be fair to you, obviously they have a unique skill set, the way they shoot the ball, but we're soft.
You obviously came back and took the lead. Do you feel like ran out of energy?
I have to run on the court to get guys to play hard. It's crazy, you know, and it's every day. I'm tired of it. It's every day. I have the most energy of anybody at practice every day. I'm upset with everybody in that locker room, my assistant coaches and my players. I mean, I don't need to do anything else. I almost got 500 wins. I'm only 53. You think I'm coaching the Lakers? I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. But yet I come in and I have more passion and energy and pride than everybody in. That's the problem. I mean, it's just that is the truth right now. I mean, Dylan Andrews just in the timeout. Number 3's hot. He's 4 for 7 from 3. You cannot let him shoot. He's going to back up. Next 2 plays, he made 2 shots. Will Kyle let him shoot? Just stood there. He just looked at him, said, "Well, you going to let me shoot?" Bang. Next play, Dylan Andrews, "You going to let me shoot?" Bang.
What can you do about this? What you're talking about as far as your players, what can you do going forward to get them in the right mindset?
Here's what you do. You play the guys that'll play hard and do what you tell them. But right now, I'm searching deeply for some guys that'll play hard enough to win a Big Ten game. Because in the film, I come in here, I talk to you guys right after the game. As poor as we shot the ball at Nebraska, our second half defense was embarrassing. Once I got to the film and we went over it, embarrassing. So what the truth of it is, Ben, it's really hard to coach people that are delusional. The hungry dog gets the bone. We got guys that think they're way better than they are. They're nice kids. They're completely delusional about who they are. And the team that's mind is on the right stuff and hungry to get a win in conference play is the team that's probably going to win. So right now, if this wasn't the humble pie they needed, I don't know. But why wasn't the Nebraska game? So I don't know. To answer your question, we'll see. We'll see. Again, the problem is, I told him this on the radio, and go ahead, Dylan. It is, right now I'm frustrated with my players and my staff, and it's been this way all year with this team. They're good guys. The problem, I told him, I said, the toughest guy in the room can't be me every day. It can't. It can't. It's just, it can't. You can only do so much. Go ahead.
Mick Cronin. These kids are delusional. Wow.
Man.
I like him, man. He does. He speaks his mind. He's one of them coaches. He's going to get up there and tell you exactly what he thinks.
No, he's going to say exactly what he thinks. The biggest concern, though, is how much of this is he saying behind closed doors, too? Because if he's not saying this behind closed doors and he's only saying it to the press, then that's when the staff and the players are going to be like, oh, so what? You only want to get on us with the media? You're not going to get on us if he had to go to that extreme, to that length in that presser, I'd imagine he's had to have said at least something. But, man, the fact that he had the gall to go, I've almost got 500 wins. What else am I going to do? I don't got to do nothing. It's like that. That is not the barometer. Oh, my gosh. Talk about what I almost make $30 million. Why does everybody else not work hard? It's like, man, you can't do that. You can't just be like, I've almost got the 500 wins. Like it's something like hang a hat on. My goodness.
Yeah, it's hey, welcome to the Big Ten, I guess. Man,
oh, man.
UCLA is getting an introduction for sure, and Michigan's obviously a good team, but losing to Nebraska on the road, I mean, that's a team. We've talked about it how many times before. They've never even been to the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a UCLA program that's won how many national championships? 11 or 12. But again, we're in a different era of college sports, and Mick definitely not happy with what he's getting out of his guys.
This is true, DK, but think about this. When was the last time they won one? It wasn't before the turn of the century. I mean, we got a long way to go before we remember the last time.
Jim Herrick's crew, was that the last one?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. It was like right at 1990. It was like right at 99, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while for sure. So UCLA, I hope we'll see. We'll see if they can get it together. 95. Yeah, it was before Arizona. Wow. Good stuff there from Mick Cronin. All right, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Don't forget, 10 minutes from now over on KTUC 1400, Arizona women's basketball broadcast will commence. The ladies will be taking on Baylor. We'll get down there to McHale Center after the show and check out some of that game. It's not your little sister's Baylor. Kim Mulkey will not be running around the court, but it's still the Baylor Bears, and they still have a good program, and it would be a very good win for Arizona to get if they can get that win tonight. DK on the sports tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic report.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported. Oracle and Prince. Expect some slowing at Prince and Oracle. Miracle Mile east of I-10 heavy westbound backups on Miracle Mile approaching and passing Flowing Wells. Cortero west of I-10 at Cortero and Arizona Pavilions Drive. We do have a chance of showers, maybe even some snow, with a wind advisory until 10 tonight. Lows near 35. Windy and 49 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month. Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest. Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor. It was a good idea, Gary. Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants. Hat.
Bet I can.
Bet you can't. All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's brilliant. You took the words right out of my mouth. Gross. Give the people what they want. Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year. Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
My helmet saved me after they crashed into my motorcycle, but I still couldn't ride for weeks. The insurance company tried hammering me into a quick settlement. No way. I gave them the bird, the eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. Nobody knows Arizona like the eagle. Phoenix to Tucson, Flagstaff to Havasu, and every bit of blacktop in between. Wherever you go, the eagle is there. So if you've been injured, don't wait. Give the insurance company the bird.
Give them the bird. Call the eagle.
Future. Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
And the Wildcats have won it. What a day at McHale Center. What's the best part of being at McHale Center live for Arizona basketball? Being right up against the action, witnessing history, and not only watching the game, but feeling that. Join the party, because the place to be in Tucson is McHale Center with 15,000 of your closest Wildcat friends. Help your Wildcats protect home court and lock in your tickets today. Call 520-621-2287 or visit ArizonaWildcats.com. Bear down, go Cats.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
This is Zach Gelb of the Sports Minute. The Dallas Cowboys have denied the Chicago Bears' request to interview Mike McCarthy. Now many will assume the Cowboys will extend McCarthy, whose contract is up on January 14th. But Mike must ask himself, does he want to stay in Dallas, especially with all the drama Jerry Jones brings upon the Cowboys organization? And if it were up to me, I'd be looking at other opportunities like the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Chicago Bears once my contract expires next week. I'm Zach Gelb.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the Wildcat Hour, which means it's time for our Arizona Insiders.
Am I late? No, my boy, you're just in time.
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions of U of A athletics and happenings around the Big 12. So bear down, Cardinal and Navy, and let's talk Cats. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light. Choose chill.
All right, we're talking a little bit earlier in this hour about the appearance of the top prospect, high school basketball prospect in the state of Arizona here in southern Arizona last night. Koa Pete and the Perry Pumas, who came up to take on the Tucson Badgers in a game that they won, and Koa Pete scored 22 points. And one of the people that was in the building to watch that performance joins us now, Javier Morales from All Sports Tucson. He has gone from covering high school basketball now to high school wrestling over at the I guess you could call it ground zero for high school wrestling here in Southern Arizona, Sunnyside, where they have won more national championships than the Browns have been to Super Bowls, which is a lot more than zero. What's happening over there tonight, Javier?
They're celebrating their 50th anniversary of the 75 team that was the first one to place at state, the first state championship team. And then the senior night. So all the seniors, boys and girls, are being honored. There's a lot of state champions on both of those rosters, so it's a big night.
We're in senior night for the winter sports already, but I guess wrestling you don't have a lot of home matches.
Right. This is Sunnyside's last home match. They play, I think, 3 more matches and a couple invitationals after this, but this is their last home match. So
you obviously, Javier, work in the district there at Sunnyside, and you've been covering high school sports around here for a long time, and college sports as well. How would you categorize what that program has meant to high school wrestling here in Southern Arizona?
Oh, it's like the standard bearer of not only Southern Arizona, it's the state. I mean, they draw some of the top wrestlers from around the region. Sunnyside does, because it's kind of like going to a Sell Point in football. Some of the top high school programs in the nation, like in high school football, like St. John Bosco. It's like a player wants to go there. That's the way Sunnyside wrestling is here at this campus. It's 37 state championships. It's a dynasty, and they're not going to slow down anytime soon. I can imagine that the next time they don't win a state championship, that's going to be a huge upset. I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Javier Morales from All Sports Tucson is our guest. He was out at Tucson High School last night. Koa Pete from Perry High School was down here with the Pumas to take on the Badgers. How big a deal was that in your mind, Javier?
Well, it's something we don't see very much in Tucson, unfortunately, is a D1 player like that draws that kind of attention. I've been fortunate to be at both the Mike Bibby game when he played at Sell Point his senior year with Shadow Mountain, and there was a lot of hoopla over that too, because of what he meant to Lute Olson at that time, coming in as a highly publicized point guard from Phoenix, Henry Bibby's son, and all that. That gym was packed too. But Tucson High last night was something I rarely see, because they pulled the seats down from the baseline behind both baselines. So it was it was a genuine arena feel to it, because there was fans circling the court, and it was packed and it was loud. And it was interesting. It was a partisan Tucson High crowd. It wasn't only cheering for Koa Pete. Matter of fact, there was I think this might have been ill-advised. There were some students there that were yelling overrated to him when he had trouble at the free throw line, and they were saying overrated. Like, wait a minute, you guys shouldn't say that, because you want him to come here to Tucson. But it was fun. It was a fun atmosphere. He's a special talent. He was subdued by foul trouble, but there were a lot of fouls called overall in the game. Kind of took away from the flow of the game, and I think that frustrated him. So he was frustrated about a performance where he had 22 points and 16 rebounds, if you can imagine that, because he's so used to being on top of his game, but he felt like the fouls kind of really subdued him, and I think that's part of the reason why he didn't talk to the media after the game. He just felt like it wasn't his game.
Yeah, it was interesting. 22 points you mentioned. We were talking earlier. He comes from a very athletic family, brothers and sisters who've all played in college, in whether it's football or basketball. For his sister's dad played in the National Football League and abroad as well. Right. So a guy that definitely the Wildcats would love to try to get to stay home and come down here and play in Tucson. I think you wrote that it was kind of on par when Mike Bibby came down here with Shadow Mountain many years ago.
Yeah, I mean, there was such a media circus then, and there was a lot of fans, and I think Sell Point actually won that game. Jim Flannery's son, Sean Flannery, was on the South Point team, and he was a D1 guy. I think he went to UTEP or a D1 program, and it was a festive atmosphere like it was last night. But Koa Pete, he's amazing. We didn't see him at his best, but he still dominated. He's such a big body. I think Calvin Ifan, I saw one of his social media posts saying that he should look at football because he does have a tight end body, but he's so under control and he's so dominant. He's got, like you said, his family has a background of playing football. He could probably be on the football field like tomorrow and be a highly recruited player because of his athleticism, his hands, his feet. He's got tremendous footwork. He's one of those guys that he's a can't miss guy, and you'll probably see him in the NBA in a couple years.
Javier, biggest story of the fall sports season, high school wise, on both the boys and the girls sides.
Oh, well, Micah Mountain and Pushridge winning the state championship on the boys' side, keeping that string going of 3A and 4As, and Tucson winning the state championships with Sabino, and CDO winning last year. And on the girls' side in the fall, let's see. So that's a tough one because let's see for volleyball, Micah Mountain did well, South Point did well. Trying to think the soccer they're getting into now, but mostly boys had the state championships there in the fall time. The girls are going to see some basketball teams really rise up, like Sunnyside and South Point. You're going to see some state title contenders there. Obviously, wrestling here with Sunnyside, and boys and girls, they have a chance to win the state titles. And soccer with Sunnyside boys, nationally ranked. Again, that's the team to watch. There's and in spring you always have the softball and baseball, or you're going to have teams challenge for state championships.
Did you think Micah Mountain could build so quickly what they were able to build, winning it on the boys' side and girls volleyball getting to the state finals?
I'm sure you've been out to their facilities. You can kind of tell that, and that's such a growing area and such a robust area of talent. I think there was a time this year when all three Vail football schools had winning records going into, or undefeated actually, going into like week 3 or 4. It's just a talent-rich area, and it's booming. And there's houses being built all around there. There's a wealth of talent around there. You could see it coming because of their facilities, which they're still upgrading. So it's one of those things where they're 4A right now, and you can see them being a 5A school in a couple years in football. You can see them moving up.
Hey, Javier, I know you're busy. We appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. We always appreciate the chance to talk to you and the coverage that you and your brother Andy and everybody provide over at allsportstucson.com.
Thanks a lot, David. Thanks for having me.
Javier Morales.
Bye. Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Choose chill.
All right, let's get you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
We talked to Derek Palmer, the voice of Arizona women's basketball. 9 minutes from tip-off, Wildcats and Baylor. This is not your little sister's Baylor, though. Kim Mulkey is not on the sidelines tonight. This is not your little sister's Baylor Bears. This is not the Kim Mulkey Baylor Bears. This is not the Brittany Griner Baylor Bears, but it's still Baylor, a marquee program in women's college basketball, and one that when this whole breakup of the Pac-12 started, I thought could be a team that might develop into a rival for the University of Arizona. Do you share that sentiment?
It's funny you mentioned that because the last time these teams played was in Dallas a couple of years ago, and a game that Arizona won handily. And in the closing seconds, it looked like a player who was no longer with the team was going to dribble out the clock, and then over the last 2 or 3 seconds, she went ahead and tried to get a bucket just to pad the stats, And I was watching every one of Baylor's coaches observe all of this with just a look of utter shock. I don't know if that is any bulletin board material or if they've gone ahead and forgotten that because she's no longer here or what, but it seems like it has potential for a variety of reasons.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
I'm trying to remember who that player might have been. I have to go back and look at the box score on that. Maybe look at that tomorrow. Who took a late shot in that game between Arizona and Baylor? Good stuff there from Derek Palmer. 6 o'clock tip-off over on 1400 KTUC. All right. That's going to wrap up our show for tonight. Thanks, Dragon Ball.
No problem.
Absolutely. Thanks to everyone that was a part of this show. We had Derek Palmer. We had Javier Morales. And we had one more person. Who was I forget it. Just that quick. I forgot who our
Mr. Bode?
Yeah, Matt Brode. Sorry.
Mr.
Matt
Brode.
Forgot about my guy, Matt Brode, joining us earlier in the show.
Oh, I think I may have figured out who they were talking about.
Oh, really?
I went back to that Pac-12 Coast to Coast Challenge.
Yeah.
That might have been Helena Puello.
Ooh.
That may have been who it was.
Okay. Was she like a young player then? Sophomore, maybe?
I don't know how young or old she was, but I know that the score was 73-54 before she made that shot.
Okay. All right. That must have been a young and inexperienced Helena Puello who made that decision.
Come off the bench in that game.
Yeah, she's but graduated, so no, can't be any animosity on a player that's not here any longer. Thanks to everybody who was a part of the program. For Dragon Ball, for Cricket, my name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Short show tomorrow with Tommy Lloyd at 5 o'clock. We'll be with you at 3 o'clock, so join us then. DK on the Sports Tip. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported La Cholla and Orange Grove, La Cholla south of Orange Grove, Alvernon and Ajo Way, Oracle and Prince, Miracle Mile east of I-10, heavy westbound backups on Miracle Mile approaching and passing Flowing Wells. Road crews initiating Operation Freeze and either have sprayed or going to spray bridge decks in order to keep bridges free of ice and safe for traffic. Do have overnight lows near 35, wind advisory till 10 tonight, and it is 48 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month. Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can.
Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good?